was only a year ago that I told her how I felt. Jessica Taylor. We'd been best friends for years, but I never seemed to be able to bring myself to tell her. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever met. My mate Mark would always tell me I was weak for not telling her. Now I just wish I'd told her sooner.
Would you stop being a little girl and just tell her?
It's not that easy, Mark.
How much easier could it be? Walk up to her and tell her how much you like her.
We're best friends. She's gonna think it's weird if I suddenly tell her I like her.
Trust me, mate, she likes you too.
How could you possibly know that?
You've seen the dickhead she's going out with.
That doesn't mean she likes me, Mark.
Trust me.
Ben!
Just tell her.
Hi.
Can we go for a walk?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Both our lives are going to change. I finally brought myself to be able to tell her. It ended up being the best decision I'd ever made.
Why haven't you told me this earlier?
I was shy, scared, worried. Worried maybe you wouldn't feel the same way.
Well, I'm glad you told me.
I was the happiest I'd ever been. I was so caught up with everything that I hadn't even thought about her boyfriend Kane. There was only one thing that I constantly had in the back of my mind. 2 years ago, Jessica had been diagnosed with stomach cancer. It was cured within the first few months, but just recently doctors realised that he'd come back, even worse than last time. They said it was at high risk of spreading to other organs. What about Kane?
I'll figure it out.
She was right. She would figure it out. Although it wasn't exactly easy. Kane wasn't the nicest person I'd ever met. In fact, he was probably the worst.
Why would you want to go with that dickhead for anyway? He wants to be a writer for fuck's sake!
Well, at least he actually has an idea of what he wants to do with his life.
And I don't? I'm a third-year apprentice, Jess. You know what? Fuck it. I don't need you anyway, you filthy slut. Here's the big boy himself.
Ben!
Don't you ever talk about her like that.
Well, you're the fucking hero. You can have her. She's probably only got a few months left in her anyway.
I'd rather you were here. You know, we actually care about you. We'd like to make sure you're okay.
Jess never got along with her parents, especially her mum. I think it was mostly because her parents were afraid of losing her and didn't know how to deal with it emotionally. I'm sure they loved her and were proud of her.
You're not the only person going through this. The whole family's going through it. It's not just you.
But I'm the one that it's affecting.
Well, it's affecting all of us. You're crying out loud. And you just put your bag there. Can't you see I'm tidying?
But this time in her life,
You're so bloody selfish.
that wasn't what she needed. It was at this point that I knew Jess had to move in with me. I didn't want her to have to deal with all the problems she was having at home. I lived on my own. It was perfect.
When we had that photo of me
Oh my god, that was on my photo. Do you know what? That actually made it onto TV.
What about elephants? What did?
That photo made it onto TV.
It was great. We did everything together.
It was in the background of that shot.
I don't think there was ever a time where we fought and didn't get along.
So right now we're just yeah, that's when I'm gonna start.
I think the both of us tried to constantly laugh and smile because we didn't want to think about Jess being sick. As fun as everything was, it was always in the back of my mind. We'd always play music together. She may not have been the best singer I'd ever heard, but I still loved hearing her voice. It would never cease to put a smile on my face. There was something about it that was comforting. Whenever she'd sing, all the worries in the world would just disappear.
I love you too.
The truth was, I'd always loved her. I knew I had. But there was no way I could tell her. Not a day went by where I wouldn't go to sleep hoping everything would just disappear and we'd wake up in a world where we could just be together and everything was perfect. One of the best parts of my day was rolling over and watching her sleep. It was the most peaceful part about her. She'd always have a slight smile on her face. If I was to never see her again, this is the way I'd want to remember her.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Why she never decided to go to hospital, I'll never know. We never spoke about it. We never even spoke about the fact she had cancer. just dealt with it. I assume it was because she didn't want either of us to go through the pain anymore. Sometimes I thought she was being selfish. I wasn't thinking about how everything was affecting me. But when I thought about it, there's no way I could compare my situation to hers. I'm sure she had a reason. Day by day she was getting worse. I'm no doctor, but I was almost certain the cancer had spread. She wasn't eating, but she couldn't stop coughing up blood. Not that I knew it then, but that was the last time I was ever going to see Jessica alive. The whole time I'd been living with Jess, I'd completely forgotten about Mark. I think he knew I wasn't going to have much time with her, so he decided to give me the time that I needed.
How's it going?
That was the best hour I'd ever spent with Mark. For those short 60 minutes, all the worries in the world had just evaporated into thin air. Jess. She was gone. The biggest shock wasn't that she had died. It was that I didn't cry. Not one tear. I wanted to, but it never came. Looking back, I think it was because I'd grieved over it for so long knowing it was going to happen, that when it actually did, I didn't feel the need to cry. In fact, I think it was mostly relief. I don't know what happened while I was gone, but I'm glad I wasn't there. I like to believe that she died peacefully and painlessly. At least I'll remember her that way. I sometimes wonder what it would be like if I had died as well. Although at least in this life, I can hope that one day I'll see her again.